Hey, so I'm nearing the end of Team Challenge training, and in the process, I've gotten a lot of sort of repetitive questions that I always answer in the same way. So I thought as I kick off the last week or so of official Team Challenge fundraising, that I would answer these on a broader scale because I've gotten the same ones, and they're the same ones I've gotten over the last several years. And I think it's helpful for people with Crohn's to do this because they are often in the bathroom. Sorry, I'm eating a cookie for a bake sale I'm holding tomorrow for Team Challenge. That we are in the closet because we're in the bathroom, and people are embarrassed to talk about it, and rightly so because it's not a comfortable subject. So, with that, top 5 questions. First, wow, I had no idea you were dealing with all of this. Yep, probably for the aforementioned reason. Also, I don't tell people how sick I am as a rule because I try to live as normally as possible. And when people know you're very sick, they often treat you differently. So, unless you were around when I didn't have any hair because of a Remicade reaction, which was a medication used for Crohn's, or unless you were around in the period immediately following my daughter's birth, when I was very, very sick and had, tubes and stuff coming out of everywhere for months, you probably wouldn't know I was sick. And so if you weren't around for that, you didn't see that. And it's not that I don't talk about it at all, because I do. If it comes up in conversation, I'll talk about it. But by and large, I try not to, because I just want to go on with my life. And I don't like to feel like I'm complaining, so I try my best not to complain. So that sort of leads into the next most common thing. Oh, although I will give a timeline. I got mono when I was 18, right after freshman year of college, and I was always sick after that. And it took 5 years to get a diagnosis of Crohn's, so that puts me at 23, so I've been living with it for 10 years, and I've been diagnosed for the last 5. And through that process, I have been on almost all the medications and have failed them, all of them spectacularly. And I have like one treatment left before I'm just in trials and studies all the time. So anyway, second question is, what is Crohn's disease anyway? So this one's awkward because it's usually asked in a social setting, and it's really not a fun disease to describe. But what I usually say is that it's a lot like rheumatoid arthritis or type 1 diabetes, or the body attacks itself, only the system that it attacks is the intestine, and it can go or the digestive tract, and it can go, for Crohn's, it can go anywhere from top to bottom. So that makes it easier to say, rather than the body attacks its intestines, and it's bad all the time. So that's how I answer that. Usually, it works pretty well in a dinner conversation. People understand it better than, it's not an immune disease, and no causes it, all that. So what kind of symptoms do you have? Another super fun question to get at dinner parties. To which I normally answer, it's a lot like having food poisoning all the time. It varies from whether you're on day 1 of food poisoning or day 5, but it's pretty much food poisoning all the time, with more pain, and no real end in sight if you're flaring. So there are digestive symptoms, of course. Nausea, vomiting, diarrhea is a big one. Pain that a lot of people describe as like stabbing pain. Mine's usually not stabby. It's more of a burning thing. It's not fun. And most of the time you just, you rally, you go through, or you're having a good day and you're fine. If you have a bad day, you just either rally or stay home and stay in bed. Both work. And so that sort of leads into the other one. So do you have a special diet or anything because you have Crohn's? And the answer to that is there is no official Crohn's diet. Everyone is absolutely different. And for me, I've had 2 resections, and I am missing a large enough quantity of intestine and parts that I can't digest food properly, and I have something called short bowel syndrome. So which means I don't digest food very well. So I drink a supplement that's the stuff they put in feeding tubes, and I went to grab a can, but I forgot. And it's called Peptamen, and it's gross and it's disgusting to drink. There's a reason they put it in tubes. Also, I feel best on a diet of basically chicken and cheese and processed meat, like ham, which is really disgusting, but it has enough salt and it's easy enough to digest, and you're thinking, oh, cholesterol, yeah, no, not worried about it at all. A lot of you know that I went to culinary school and I'm a trained chef, and that does essentially make me a chef. Can't eat anything because I'm on a diet where I can't eat fruits or vegetables, which sort of cuts out quite a lot of things, or whole grains, or anything that looks like the source food product. It has to be pretty processed for me to eat it. And it's not fun. So I basically subsist, I feel best with the chicken and cheese thing, but I basically subsist on coffee and sugar. That's pretty much my diet, other than the canned things and whatever I happen to eat. It's weird to be on a diet where salad's cheating. And the last question is, what causes it? They don't know what causes Crohn's or ulcerative colitis, which is the other inflammatory bowel disease. They don't know what causes it, and that's why they do research. They don't know what causes it, there's not a cure, and the best they can do is throw treatments at you and hope that one sticks, and then when it does stick, hope it sticks around for a while. I've never had a medication stick, so I don't know how that works. Some people have success for decades at a time. Some only get a few months out of a drug. For some it doesn't work at all. So that's why we have researchers that do this, and I'm lucky enough to have gotten to know a lot of the researchers over the years, and they actually do care. People say, oh, medical research don't care. They do. And that's why I raise money for Team Challenge and CCFA, because I want them to do, I do it for purely selfish reasons. I don't want to have Crohn's anymore. I don't want my daughter to have Crohn's. I don't want anyone I'm related to or know or love to ever have to deal with it. It sucks. And so that's why I do this, and maybe if you've made it through this 8 minutes here, you feel compelled to give, or at least understand a little bit more why I am so involved and why it's such a big deal, even though it's something that seems kind of random. So please click the link if you want to give, and I hope that if you have Crohn's and you're watching this, you feel a little bit better, and that you're well, and let's all find a cure.